Hitmontop fires off the Tripel Axel. The opponent puts up their final Protect Shield. This sets up the perfect Poison Jab farm down for Skunktank. Skunktank returns, gets the full Poison Jab farm down. And if Lantern didn't hear about the new season update, they're soon about to find out. Welcome back to the channel. Finally the new season is here and I am so excited. We've got so many new toys to use and today we're going to be showcasing 3 of them. We got Shadow Hitmontop with its new move Tripel Axel. We got Shadow Skunktank with its new move Trailblaze. Rounding off today's team of buff Pokemon, we're going to be using Swalot. For no reason other than I want to throw trash cans at some opponents. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we pick up a great lead Hitmontop into Scrafty. The opponent save switches into Defense Deoxys. My god, we're in the first battle of the season and this opponent running full BBML. However, we're sitting in the driver's seat. The opponent went straight for the single resisted Psycho Boost, harshly lowering that own attack. Skunktank didn't respect it. We're also not going to respect the second Psycho Boost. Skunktank says, is that all you've got, Skunktank? Not going to get counter farm down. We make crunch number 2 on the second CMP tie the opponent. Let it go, Skunktank. Regain switch and take shield advantage of the opponent. Saving their final shield for the minty green tin can. The switch timer pops up a pivot back out into Hitmontop and the opponent responds with Scrafty. I do still have 2 Protect Shields remaining. Obviously I could shield my Hitmontop and then get it aligned with Registeel. However, where would be the fun in that? It'd be much more fun and a lot more disrespectful to throw some trash cans at it. Hitmontop's going to be taking care of Scrafty. Registeel will get the full lock-on farm down and it's now time to disrespect this giant minty green tin can. Swalot actually has a really respectable stat product in the Great League. We easily survived the flash cannon. We've still got 2 Protect Shields as well. I can only hit this minty green tin can for resisted damage. However, the trash can animation is absolutely epic. We shield up the next flash cannon. We're going to full send the gunk shot. This is resisted. It won't do too much, but look at that animation. In this season's move update, Swalot did get access to Mud Shot, which not only is helpful in a matchup against steel types, it also enables Swalot to get to this really expensive gunk shot, which costs 75 energy for 130 damage. We're going to shield up the next flash cannon. We're going to be able to Mud Shot, farm down, and we're off to a 1-0 start. Moving on to the next battle. Great lead Hitmontop into Excadrill. The opponent save switch into Gramble. Logically, Skunktank probably would be the better save switch. However, I actually want to see what Swalot can do. So I save switch into Swalot. We fire off the Ice Beam, forcing a protection. And my god, look how thick Swalot is. Being a pure poison type, we obviously do resist the charms. However, Shadow Gramble's so oppressive. Usually chunks everything. But Swalot's just standing here, tanking charm. After charm, we fire off the second Ice Beam. The opponent let it go, back out comes Excadrill. The opponent looking to overfarm heavily, allowing Swalot to make 1 more Ice Beam. Swalot absolutely popping off here. If the opponent looks for the full Mud Shot farm down, we'd actually make 1 more Ice Beam. The opponent attempts to catch the Ice Beam on Politoed. I bank the gunk shot for the road and send out Skunktank. I dare the opponent to Earthquake me. They just throw the weatherable Skunktank, shrugs it off. We don't need the Trailblaze as crunch will be enough to secure the knockout. Excadrill is the last man standing for the opponent. They farm up to 100 energy. We're just going to allow Skunktank to go down. Hitmontop going to be feasting when it returns. We could obviously shield this move up. The counter that did go through would knock him out. However, where's the fun in that? There's another trash can to be thrown. The gunk shot is locked. It's loaded. GG's and thanks for playing. Post in the comment section down below how many trash cans you think I land in this video. Moving on to the next battle. We see Cantonian Sandslash, another Pokemon that did get buffed this season, gaining access to Scorching Suns. The Shadow variant will be a Pokemon I will be showcasing later this week. I'll definitely be using Mud Shot as my quick move, and if you want to use Sandslash, that's definitely the way to go. Metal Claw, definitely not what you're looking for. We force the protection with the Tripel Axel. I shield up the Earthquake. The opponent send out an Air Slash Charizard. We throw the boosted Tripel Axel. We then pivot out into Skunktank. The opponent farming up 1 bazillion energy. This crunch will be securing the knockout. Some of these early battles are pretty random to be honest, but that's just the way it goes in the early season. The opponent's final Pokemon is Cypher, another Pokemon that got a double buff this season. Most Cyphers run X-Scissor and Aerial Ace, so if you want to see Cypher in action, post it down below and I'll look to bring you that video. Moving on to the next battle. We're back seeing some basic meta. Hitmontop into Jellicent, you hate to see it. We pivot into Swalot, and this definitely is not a good matchup for me. However, probably better than Hitmontop. The opponent built up to a Shadow Ball, baiting me with a Surf. Mr. Opponent, we do not shield baits in this household. They then send out a lowland sandstash. The opponent evidently doesn't know the moveset, and can I blame you? When the hell do you see Swalot? They shielded up the gunk shot, which would be resisted. They then fired off the ice punch. Swalot shrugged off the damage, fired off gunk shot number 2, which did pretty much nothing, but we have got sandslash down to around half health. I now send back out Hitmontop. I've got no intention of shielding up Hitmontop because we know we're going to get realigned with that Jellicent. We get the full counter farm down, and it's now time for Skunktank. I'm spamming out into Skunktank. The opponent returns with Jellicent. I do still have 2 Protect Shields remaining, so I am going to shield up the first surf. I imagine the opponent's going to pivot out at some stage. The opponent continues to stay in. We can easily tank the next surf. So if you throw it good timing, 1, 4 or 7 when using 2 turn versus 3 turn, the opponent's unable to catch, so this crunch will be landing or forcing the final Protect Shield. The opponent invests their final Protect Shield. The opponent still staying in. Skunktank makes the next crunch, secures the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Trevenant, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see a great lead. However, I am running an ABB team with double weak to ground in the back, so I'm going to bank some energy, pivot out into Swalot. The opponent stays in. They've got about 1 bazillion energy. I've got no idea what a Watergun Lapras is going to throw at me. They YOLO the Skull Bash, and ouch, that hurt. But you know it's time for yet another trash can. Do we land yet another trash can? Yes, we do. Lapras goes down. The opponent then sends out Niantic's favourite Pokemon, Claydol, every single season. Niantic give this another charge move. Is Claydol good yet? Probably not. We land the Ice Beam. The opponent gets the full Confusion farm down. If anyone from Niantic is watching, stop giving Claydol charge moves. Just give it Mud Shot for the love of God, and then maybe it'll be viable. I do respect the potential Scorching Sand. The opponent fire off the Shadow Ball. They then pivot out into Tangela, bank a boatload of energy, pivot out into Hitmontop. We fire off the Tripel Axel secures the knockout, back out, comes Claydol, and Hitmontop is a Claydol counter confirmed. GG's and thanks for playing. As you might come to expect, the first set of the season is always the Wild West. We do manage to go 5-0. Heading into the next battle, Hitmontop into Nidoqueen. Not the best matchup, however, the Tripel Axel coverage is going to be nice. I attempt to catch a Poison Fang onto Swalot. The opponent far too smart for me. They hold their energy, but we call the bait. The opponent master bait on the very bulky Swalot. I am then going to be able to outpace to the potential Earth Power with my Ice Beam. Ice Beam forces a Protect Shield. The opponent now back at an Earth Power. I am going to respect it. And of course, the opponent continuing to masturbate. How fucking rude. The opponent then banks some energy, pivot out into Mandibuzz. I'd put my life savings on this being Nidoqueen Double Dark. However, I'm pretty broke because I live in the UK, so my life savings is about a tenner, but regardless of that, I'm pretty confident it's going to be Scrafty in the back. We commit to the gunk shot, forcing the opponent to dump some energy. That Nidoqueen that's lurking is still going to be a problem for me, so I'm going to send out Skunktank, look to get some energy together. The opponent going to fire off Aerial Ace, which usually is Aerial Ass, but I suppose this season is not the worst move, as it's now only 40 energy. The opponent already at Aerial Ace number 2, we tank the move, pivot back out into Hitmontop, drawing out Nidoqueen. We are going to shield up the Poison Fang. I should be able to outpace Nidoqueen to the double Tripel Axel. We're going to fire off the first one. Is Nidoqueen willing to invest that final Protect Shield? No, they're not. Down goes Nidoqueen, back out. Comes Mandibuzz. I'm going to throw 4 counters and the Tripel Axel for optimal fast move timing. This Tripel Axel goes unshielded. The opponent's final Pokemon is Scrafty. We make 1 more Tripel Axel, as we'll be forcing the final Protect Shield. This game is going to be so close. The opponent invests that final Protect Shield. We make the Trailblaze on the CMP type. Is Trailblaze enough to knock out? Yes, it is. GG's and thanks for playing. I'm going to chalk that up as Spice 1 basic bitch meta nil. In the next battle, we lead Hitmontop into Licky. Far too thicky, a great lead for us. The opponent pivot out into Meta Channel. I answer with Swalot. The opponent build up to a potential Psychic and then bait with an Ice Punch. Trainer, please don't bait something as bulky as Swalot. The opponent now going straight Ice Punch, the easiest no shield of my life. We tank the next Ice Punch. Return fire with the trash can. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not, and my god, Swalot hits like a wet noodle. That was such a disappointing gunk shot. However, Swalot, undeterred, fires off the Ice Beam, securing the knockout, back out. Comes Licky, far too thicky, and you, sir, can have a trash can as well. Does this trash can land? This has got to be about number 10 of the video. You love to see it. I then pivot out into Hitmontop. We do survive any one move. The opponent fires off the body slam. They then pivot out into defense Deoxys, a very meta line. We fire off the triple axel. The opponent still with 2 protect shields finally invests one on the triple axel. The boosted counters now really chunking despite them being resisted. Shadow Skunk now in a pretty good position to close this game out. We've got 2 protect shields and a potential sacrificial swap in the form of Swalot. I am going to respect this move. The opponent on Thunderbolt, so that's important to note. Because you know, kids, you've got to stay in school and learn to count. We fire off the next crunch on the CMP tie to the next Thunderbolt, forcing the final protect shield. We get the defense drop. I'm going to shield up the next Thunderbolt. The opponent is now 5 counters away from the Psycho Boost. They're obviously going to Psycho Boost and dip. So hi, Mr. Opponent. You can throw it on my low health Swalot. Psycho Boost takes care of Swalot back out. Comes Skunktank, the opponent pivot out into Licky. Far too thicky, but trainer Licky isn't thick enough. Skunktank gets the crunch off and poison jab farms down Deoxys, and we take that game. We see the dream lead Hitmontop into Greninja, the opponent save switch into Granbull, and this time I'm going to answer with Skunktank and just commit to the full poison jab farm down. The opponent send out a Steel Wing Skarmory. Yikes. To be honest, I'd usually say Steel Wing is a terrible move. However, with Carbink being ranked number 1, I think it'd be really funny to run Steel Wing Skarmory and clap up some of them stupid Stinky Binky users. However, I think I'm getting sidetracked, so getting back into the commentary, we send out Swalot. Swalot so thick, we easily tank the Brave Bird. We fire off the Ice Beam, forcing the opponent's first protect shield. The opponent looks for the full Steel Wing farm down. Swalot says no, makes Ice Beam number 2. The opponent now all shields down. We pivot out into Hitmontop. I've got 2 protect shields remaining, so I'm going to shield up whatever they throw. The opponent YOLOs the Brave Bird. We get the counter farm down, back out, comes Greninja, and it's going to be high Greninja, by Greninja. Get wrecked. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, Hitmontop into Quagsire. This opponent out here trying to flex their legend pose on me. And if you're wondering why I mentioned that, you're going to see why. The opponent looked to CMP tie me. I don't fall for that, and I'm actually going to YOLO the close combat. As in my head, I know the opponent's going to think there's a triple axel. Well, surprise opponent, it is not. The close combat vanquishes the Quagman back to their Pokeball. I then pivot out into Swalot, resetting my debuff, and the opponent answers with a Lowland Sandslash. This is a dreadful matchup for me, but does the opponent know the moveset? We YOLO another Trash Can, forcing a Protect Shield. Can Swalot make another charge move? We cannot. Yikes, we're in trouble here. The opponent gets a huge farm down. I wait out my full timer, send in Hitmontop. I think the best play is just going to be to try and 2-shield and counter farm it all the way down. The opponent throws the back-to-back ice punches, each counter absolutely tearing apart Sandslash. The opponent gives me the full counter farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Blossom. Blossom not going to appreciate the triple axle. The opponent doesn't shield. We pivot out into Skunktank, and we're going to be able to poison jab farm down and take that game. Moving on to the final battle of the video, we see the Pokemon Niantic was supposed to nerf, but they've actually buffed it, as Spark now does 2 more damage while gaining 1 less energy. Go figure. But stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We catch the Surf onto Swalot. The opponent continuing to stay in. Gonna fire off Surf number 2, but Swalot so thick. Really doesn't care about this silly electric fish. The opponent now pivot out into Metachan, giving me another opportunity to throw another Trash Can. The Trash Can lands, getting Metachan below half health. The opponent goes straight for the Ice Punch. Swalot has done its job, so I'm going to allow it to go down. Ice Punch does secure the knockout. Metachan's now in a really nice range where I can send in Skunktank, shield once, and Poison Jab farm all the way down, getting a nice big energy lead. We're going to respect the next Ice Punch. I've got 2 shields. I need to start shielding something. We shield the Ice Punch, get the full Poison Jab farm down. If the opponent sends out Lantern, let's see if this opponent knows about the new move update. We go straight for the Trailblaze. Does the opponent respect the damage? Yes, they do. We pivot out into Hitmontop. We throw the Triple Axel. The opponent catch it on knockdown. Thanks, trainer. That definitely was a move I'd throw at the owl anyway. The opponent going to be forced to throw energy. Hitmontop makes Triple Axel number 2, and the opponent give me that final protection. This now sets up the dream moment for Skunktank. Sky Attack is going to secure the knockout back out. Comes Skunktank, we get the full Poison Jab farm down. The opponent send out Lantern. We're at the next Trailblaze. It's going to be high Lantern, by Lantern. Piss off, you silly electric fish. GG's, and thanks for playing. And that is going to draw to a close my first 2 sets of Season 16 using 3 triple buffed Pokemon So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing, post down below what buff Pokemon you'd like to see next, and I'll try and bring you that showcase. I'm actually off work after tomorrow, so I'm going to have 12 days off. We're going to try and do 2 uploads a day. So if you want your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.